This is the New South Wales metering configuration of meters before to meters after a solar installation. Over to the left hand side, top left, we actually have single phase metering configuration. This is a single phase clock display where you can clearly see the dials are similar to a clock. We have a disc with a scrolling reading. We have another disc with a scroll read and another disc with a scroll read. This is a 3-phase clock display dial read. This is another 3-phase disc scroll read. This here is a 3-phase clock arrow display read. Now to the bottom of this display we have electronic meters that display your kilowatt read. This particular meter is from the Ausgrid network, and we can scroll by using this particular button here. You'll see here you have a limited amount of scrolls, 01 being the time, 02 being the date, 03 being your kilowatt usage. You'll see here this meter is a structure 19 and does not have a further reading. This is not a bidirectional meter and is only one direction. This meter here is used in the Essential Energy Network area. You can see the actual screening. You have a rate, B rate, C rate. This is the date, the time, screensaver. There is only a morning, middle of the day and afternoon rate. This is a time of use meter used in the Essential Energy Network. This is another meter used in the Energy Australia network. Same function of the structure 19, but a different design. This meter here is used in the Endeavour Energy network. Same structure, different design. Below we have 3-phase meters used in the New South Wales electrical supply authorities. This meter here is used in Energy Australia, only one direction. This meter here, another 3-phase meter used in Endeavour Energy, formerly known as Integral Energy. This meter here was used in the Energy Australia network, a 3-phase meter. This meter here is a polyphase 3-phase meter that you can see similar to the structure 19. We can scroll through this button. We have an 01 read, 02 read, 03 read, screensaver. 01 is the time, 02 is the date, 03 is your kilowatt usage. There is no export reading on this meter. This meter here is a 3-phase meter used in the Essential Energy Network area. We can scroll by using this button here. There is an 04 read, there's an 01, 02, 03, 06 read, 07, screensaver. Explain these further. You have 01 morning rate, 02 middle of the day rate, 03 afternoon rate, 06 the date, and then the time. This is not a export net meter and does not show an export reading on this meter. Following to the right hand side of the board is the bidirectional meters installed by the network supply authorities and individual level 2 service providers. This meter here is a Structure 21 3-phase biodirectional meter in the Ausgrid network. You can see here by scrolling through, there is an 01 read, there is an 02 read, there's an 03 read, there is a Reg 93 read. This is a screensaver. Explained, 01 is the date, 02 is the time, 03 is your import amount, Reg 93 is your export amount to your solar system. Screensaver. This is a 3-phase meter used in the Ausgrid network. The meter now that we see is a E2 Structure 23. This particular meter is functioning a single phase supply and off-peak all in one. You have an 03 read, which is your import, Reg 93, which is your export, Reg 07, which is your import of your electric hot water service, your controlled load. This meter here is a E1 Structure 21 used in the Ausgrid network. The two meters that you see here are identical meters in functioning operation, but as you can see by their design, are two different styles, both functioning the same. The top right hand side of this meter, you have 01, 02, 03, Reg 93. This meter here, you have 01, 02, 03, Reg 93, which is your export. Screensaver. 01 is your date, 02 is your time, 03 is your import, Reg 93 is your export. These 4 meters are the main meters used in the Ausgrid network. Coming down to this black meter named a EM3030, used by Endeavour Energy. This particular meter, you cannot scroll. These buttons are fake and you must wait for the display to scroll through. Now, this is a screensaver. This is your import rate. Noticing there's no minus sign in front of the number. The minus sign in front of the number equals your export amount. This is a screensaver. This is your import amount from the grid. This is your export amount to the grid. This is your screensaver on this meter. Endeavour Energy are now also using this brand meter, Elster, and the display is a little bit harder to read than the EM3030, but as you can see, these two lines here, you have an import and an export. When you see this little arrow here defined on your import, this is the reading from your import. You can now see that the arrow has gone to your export, and now this is a screensaver. This is a code of the meter, irrelevant to any understanding. Another code known by the meter. Here we have the indication of import. This is your import read. This is now your export read. If you can see this line here and the arrow indicating to that, this is your export read. These two meters here are your single meter configuration for a net meter on a single phase in Endeavour Energy. On your left hand side, you'll have this meter here which will be marked domestic, and this meter here which will be marked export. Your import meter is wired conventionally in the normal manner, and your net meter is wired backwards to read any export amount given back to the grid. bottom line of meters are essential energy meters. If you can actually notice here, essential energy have a time of use tariff available to all customers. So you have an 03, 01, 02. So going through all the readings now, you have a reg 110. This is your export amount on this meter. This will tell you how much you send back to the grid. 01 is your morning rate, domestic import. 02, your domestic rate import. 03, your domestic rate import. 06 is the date. 07, the time. Screensaver. This is a single phase meter for essential energy. As you can see here, you have a A rate, morning, middle of the day, afternoon rate, the date, the time, screensaver, and a negative sign. This negative sign here is how much you send back to the grid. A is your positive morning import, B import middle of the day, C import middle afternoon. Date, time, screensaver, export amount. This is the EM1000 used by Essential Energy.